Hey, how's it going? We're in a new venue. Look at this. This is Fashionable Fitness in Scarborough, and it is time for calisthenics skills. So I'm going to teach you how to get your first ever pull-up. Might not be your first. You might already have them. You might already have them in the bag, but let's make them strong. Let's get it. Let's understand how your arm works and how you can get yourself to pull yourself up over the bar or over the rings. It's going to be cool. So this is my deal. Swinging around on these is my thing. So I'm going to work on this movement here and how you can make your elbows, it's not your elbows, but I like to focus on this, be the thing that pulls you up, closing this angle. Closing your armpit down is the strength to be able to pull yourself up over a bar. I'm excited about it because I've missed this. This is my thing. This is my deal, swinging around on things. We can maybe even have a look at muscle-ups and how to do muscle-ups on the rings, which is where you go from hanging like this to here, to getting here, and then pushing up. I'll show you. So we've still got time. So muscle-ups need false grip, which is a different thing where you've got your wrists wrapped around here. You can push up and then go out the camera all the way up like that. And it's so exciting because it's such a hard skill, but so rewarding when you get it. And it shows us, and if you do it smart, then it gives you resilience in your elbows, in your wrists, in your shoulders, in your pulling strength, and it's fun. You get to go up high. How cool is that? And we'll also, as always, have a little look at our wrist strength, our wrist mobility, and get it to work so that we can balance on our hands and get it going good, so that when we go into hand balances, I've got all this space to play with now as well, that we can get your wrists to be able to perform like that as we kick up into these handstands and get strong, balancing on our hands. So exciting! I'm so happy that we get to use this space. I don't think I'll be able to carry on doing this class in here because it's a popular room in the gym that's open for everyone to come in, so I won't be able to do a video talk, but for now, while we've got it, let's use it. Let's get it going. So, we're about there to get started. I've got this squat rack here as well, which is cool. I've got something to hold onto to make myself nice and stable. So we're going to look first at shoulder mobility, shoulder strength, and have you got a shoulder? Have you got a shoulder to use so that you can kick up into handstands? So let's see. I want you to hold on to a door frame, a wall, a sofa, someone, and squeeze it and push yourself into a stretch across here. Doesn't need to be a big stretch, it just needs to be end range. So you kind of twist it as much as you can go. You can't get any further without changing things. And then we'll take this outside arm, we're going to pull it back as far as you can into this little space here. Move it around in this space where you pull this arm back. Turn your thumb to point up, turn your thumb to point backwards, and get this arm up and back behind your ear, brush past your cheek, and then bring it right back to this little slot again. And see how it's going to go in the same direction, going round. I'm finding end range. I'm trying to get my shoulder to perform in end range. This is called controlled articular rotations. You will hear me bang on about these every day for the rest of my life because they are so important to getting our joints to perform how they're supposed to perform. There we go, and then we're going to go the opposite direction. Bring it across your body and try and jam it up. You should be able to feel your chest tense as you bring this arm across, and we're still trying to open out this other arm. As you come back down, try and point your thumb down like this, and drag it back, and bring it up, past your cheek, point your thumb down and back, down and back, down and back, get it right back behind you, and then up, down and back, down and back, down and back. Yes, there we go. I'm going to use this as my thing to grab hold of on the other side. So I'm opening this out, so I'm stretching across here. I'm going to get this arm to perform. Pull it right back here. Find this little slot. Make it strong. Turn your thumb to point up and back. Up and back, up and back, up and back. Get this arm behind your ear without changing your spine. So if you go like this and it goes behind your ear, that's fine, but I've just changed the shape of my body to make it happen. And bring it down across my cheek, across my chest, back. I've got to move slow. Momentum isn't the key here. So if you go like this, you've not taught yourself anything. I want you to think about every millimetre and get all of those muscles around the back of your shoulders, back of your scapula to perform. And then we'll change direction. Swing it forwards, get behind your ear, turn your thumb to point down as you go down and back. Bring it right back behind you, back up, turn your thumb to point down. Oh, so hard. My left arm's always terrible at this internal rotation here. Oh, yes, there we go. And then we'll go through what I've been banging on about since we've started these classes, these wrist controlled articular rotations. So you jam your elbows in tight, your palms up and down like this first. So these palms are rising up and down, and I'm getting my forearms to perform. And then do a big circle with your wrists facing up. So this part of your wrist, I've got a tattoo here and a watch here. I can see that my wrists aren't facing into each other like this. That isn't the deal. That's not it. Keep that pointing up and find end range. Going around and breathe and jam your elbows in tight into your rib cage. And then reach your arms out and pull your fingertips back like this. And just own this, just this, that's it. We're pulling back. I want you to feel like this muscle here, right over the top of your forearm, all of this flesh here is tightening up to stretch here. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and spread your shoulder blades. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Yes, okay. Let's talk about pull-ups. I'm visibly excited about teaching this because I love it. It gives me so many options in the gym, and it's such a big thing to take a step beyond unlocking this skill. So I want you to mime holding onto a bar. So if you don't have pull-up bar or rings available to you just yet, which you probably don't, it's fine, we're going to practice. I want you to pull your arms back. So see how my ribs flip up a bit as I do this. I'm going to tense my belly hard. So if I pull up my belly here, I can feel like it's on. And I'm going to not think about what my hands do. I'm just going to pull my elbows and try and touch my rib cage. So I'm pulling them in and going back up again. And pull in and going back up. Come inside. What are you doing? Then pull down and back up. And pull down and back up. So I'm trying to get this bit of my elbow to touch into my ribs here. And this closing angle is the deal. This bit here is closing as well. That's what the team is. The team is biceps, latissimus dorsi, among other things. But that's the main movers of this exercise. So we can make pull-ups easier once you get back into the gym, or you've got something like this. We can use this as a little practice bit. If I stand with my chin over and I pick my toes up like this and drop myself down, so I'm sat under the bar, bend my knees, I can pull myself up and back down, and pull myself up and back down. I want you to think about how your shoulder blades are performing on your back when you pull up. So when we go like this, look, it's that squeezing together of the shoulder blades. My shoulder blades go from the outside of my back and they come into the middle here. And that is getting all of this stuff, all of this here to contract, which is strong. If your pull-up looks like this, or like a chin-up, we're using way more biceps. Back two, all of these muscles in back two, it's not that they just forget to turn on. It's more of a bicep exercise like this. And that team isn't quite strong, but it's much easier to find because we use our biceps all the time. We bend our elbows all the time. We don't go from this shape here to this shape here all that often in life. And it takes a little bit of tuning in and finding that stuff. So let's get into a little workout involving these pull-ups. So grip onto whatever you can grab hold of as tight as you can. If you haven't got a pull-up bar, I want you to mime this slowly and with intent, like you mean it, like this, and see if you can find activation of these muscles here, like all of these wings. They're the ones. So you're just going to mime it, and that is fine. Don't have to do the thing. We just got to think and see if you can find those muscles and what shape. So you might need to go hands from here, look, and pull back like this. That might be the thing that unlocks this. Because you can do a pull-up like this. Look, my head is way back here. And that's me doing a pull-up using these muscles. So we're just going to do 5 reps at a time. Jumping rep counts. So if you are pulling up, you can jump up like this and lower yourself down. You jump up and lower yourself down. And use that jump to get up if you don't quite have the strength to get up yet. We're just going to do 5, have a little rest, 5, have a little rest, 5, have a little rest. 15 pull-ups in total, and every time we have a little rest, I'll talk about all the things that are going on and how we are making this happen. So, let's go for it. 5 reps. I'm going to pull my head back, my chest is up, I'm going to push my heels together and squeeze elbows down. 2, 3, 4, 5. And a little rest. So you'll see I had my chest up like this because these muscles here contract to open this up. When this stretches, this contracts. And that is a big part of training these muscles in our back to be able to perform. And we can also do a pull-up in hollow body like this, so this stays stretched like this, and that's kind of how we get into a muscle-up position, is we go like this and then push up. But it becomes a different thing. I want you to find these muscles in your back and own your thoracic extension, where your collarbone kind of goes back, your rib cage flips up a bit, and you can make latissimus dorsi do the thing. Mime this with me. I know not many of you will have the pull-up bar and the rings to do this, but really tune in, slow down and go rib cage up and try and contract these muscles in the middle of your back. Tuck your chin a bit as well. Spread your shoulder blades and pull yourself up and squeeze this bit here where you can feel elbows trying to pull back behind you and activate these back muscles. Let's go 5 reps again. Holding on tight. We're going chest up, my head's back, and pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, none of this is between right and wrong. I'm trying to get you to own this pull-up. If you can only ever get over the bar if you do it like this, and your elbows are kind of in close together, and you pull up like this to here and back down, you're not doing it wrong. Don't listen to anyone that tells you you're doing it wrong, because you're not. You're getting some kind of movement, you're getting that elbow bend, there's some kind of weight loading going in the right direction, but we want it to go further than that and get to this chest to bar and a shoulder that is well balanced and can hold your body weight and can make your lats and all the muscles in your back contract so that you can perform. Let's go again. This is our last set of 5 reps. Mime it. Don't feel like you're not doing work if you're tuning in to this. That feels mint for me. I can feel it. I can understand what's happening. And when I'm loaded in the pull-up, I totally get it. So, going chest up like this. So see how my shoulder blades are spread. And I'm going to try and pull shoulder blades together. Pull shoulder blades together. Pull shoulder blades together. One more. That is such a hard exercise. So tough to be able to manage your body weight like that and move it around. But it comes with just practice and turning up. If you don't have that, you can't rag yourself to death getting loads of help doing pull-ups like banded and like heavier bands, you get more tired, because you'll just burn out. There'll be nothing left to give. And it's a good effort, and not between right and wrong, but I would much rather you did like a few reps through the day. So if you have a pull-up bar at home, you do a little jump, try and control your way down, shake it off, have a little rest, and then you perform more often at your best capacity, the best shape in that exercise, and then hopefully you move forwards more, which would be fantastic. Okay, let's go through some hand balance stuff. I'm just going to turn this camera down a bit so you can see me a bit more. There we go. Because we don't need the rings so much anymore. Okay, so balancing on our hands. If we look at crow pose first, again, let's get into this a slightly different way. Remember, I'll teach you so many different ways of going up onto your hands. This is one of my easiest ones and one of my favourites that seems to work best for beginners. If I go wide legs like this and go into hamstring stretch, so I'm stretching my hamstrings, and then try and bend my knees until my elbows can touch like this. And I connect my knees to my elbows like tight, like they're pushing into each other. And then bring my hands down towards the floor and use my fingertips to stop my head from coming forwards. I'm trying to keep my chest up and my chin up. Keep your chin away from the floor and then lean forwards until You can touch the ends of your toes on the floor, and then pick one heel up, other heel up, and hold it, hold it, hold it, and then come back down again. And let's have a little talk about what's actually happening in there. I'm doing a crunch. I'm making my belly muscles contract here. So when we talked about thoracic extension like this for our back, we're now talking about the opposite. We're talking about flexion in our spine to be able to come into this crunched up position. You've done a crunch before, when you do sit-ups like this, and you make your spine do this, it's in this little pocket of strength here, and it's immovable. I've got it, I'm holding it, and then pull the elbows in towards each other. Practice this, do a crunch, and then pull the elbows towards each other. And look at that turtle back. That is a strong structure there. It's a humpback bridge. It's immovable. Once I'm in that shape, I've got to tell myself to come out of it, to get out of it. So if you get into it and your shoulder blades sink and your head comes towards the floor, we don't have this structure here. We're making this strong. So go wide legs, hamstring stretch, bend your knees, bring your hands down, and your fingertips stop you from coming forwards too far. We come up, bring heels up, hold, 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 and try and always exit out back the way. Don't let your head touch the floor. We don't want any of that. We don't need a face plant. Let's go into this again. So from the same position, we're just going to keep going in this and keep practicing it. We're all at different levels. It's okay if you get into it and your feet don't lift off the floor. Let's go through that. If you can balance, just balance, but hamstring stretch. So stretching my hamstrings, bend my knees, elbows onto my knees, spread my hands. So my hands are shoulder width apart. My fingertips stop me from coming forwards. Pick your chin up away from the floor and go tiptoes and just hold this here. And this can be your thing. And see if you can tap your toes up and down like this with your fingertips pushing into the floor and rock back. That's balancing on your hands. You can do that. And it's a structure. You've got to think about that as it being like a foundation from your wrists, a house foundation that goes deep into the ground and there's no bending. It can't get anywhere, it can't go anywhere. It's so strong. When you pull your elbows in and get this crunch, it's this humpback structure that's like a humpback this way. So it goes from your wrist up the inside of your arm, across your chest and down, and then humpback this way that goes from your knees all the way up here, and those knees touch your elbows. It's immovable. You've made a structure. You've made something that three little pigs can't blow down, or the wolf can't blow down. Oh, that was a terrible analogy, I ruined it. Done that. Get that structure, understand it, and practice it over and over again. And then we're going to try and use that structure to go up into a handstand. Let me just move this camera again. I'm being very indecisive about camera angles, right, because I want you to be able to see my feet in the air. So let's talk about kicking up into handstands. Yeah, I'll be all right. So kicking up into a handstand can be scary, but we want those feet to go up. And don't stop thinking about your feet. Start thinking about your hips. It's where your hips travel when we go into a handstand that makes a handstand happen. We've done this last couple of times in this class, and it's one of my favourite drills. It works. I've taught people how to handstand from doing this. We come down into this runner's lunge like this. So you're running like this. See how one foot's forward, one foot back. This leg swings up. And look at my hips. See how I push through this leg, and my hips travel from here to here. And then my hips are going to go from here to here. They're going to go up, right. So watch. Swing this leg up, punch this leg up. Swing this leg up, punch this leg up. Swing this leg up, punch this leg up. I'm just only moving my hips up enough that I can balance. But I'm not worried about balancing. I'm worried about getting that kick up to be consistent. I can do it over and over and over and over again. And hopefully it'll always be the same. Realistically, it won't be. And that's okay. That's fine, because we're practicing. And that's what this is for. So let's go this again. Into your runner's lunge and get this position. Doing a handstand like this is all well and good, but there's too much momentum. When you go like this, look, you like chuck those legs up and you end up just bouncing back down again. Or you go chuck those legs up and you end up having to cartwheel away. And it's harder. It's harder to find the consistency to be able to get this upright position that we're after. So let's have a little go at that again. Into your runners, lunge like this. This leg swings, and this leg punches up. This leg swings, this leg punches up. And see how it's just upright. My fingertips are constantly pushing into the floor. And notice how just one leg touches the floor, the second leg just punches up. Thanks 3D Leisure at Home for sending me an aubergine classic. Now Rob sent one, perfect. So we're after this consistency of kicking up and just landing upright. This front leg, the one that's tucked up underneath you, is only going to go up. It's not going to swing in a big arc like this. So hopefully you can see that my leg, this leg here at the front, doesn't go around like this, because if it does, it's going to put me off balance. So I go like this, swings up, and just punches straight up, and doesn't go. See if I can do it like that. It's hard. And I'm moving around loads because it's too long. It's too far to travel. If I just go straight up, it confirms upright. And I want my shoulders to be pushing myself up like this, trying to get as tall as I possibly can, which isn't very tall as it happens. Okay, let's go for one more set of this, kicking up into handstand. If you want, you can use a wall, by the way. You can do it up against a wall. I'm going to just keep doing it here because I think visually you can see what's happening a lot more with every kick up. And you'll notice the ones where I just hang time for a little bit and I'm just upright. And I feel like good there, and then I come out. Because the balancing in the handstand comes way after. It's a different thing. The kick up, can't do it without that. So let's get into it. Let's just go for 5 in a row. This, swing and punch, swing and punch, swing and punch, swing and punch. There we go. And that is our handstand practice. Now let's get into some press-up stuff. So I'm going to actually do some hard work for press-ups and get into this habit of twisting our hands into the floor, because that strength, it's just so important. It helps us so much that you can twist your hands into the floor to grip and find something to grip against so that the muscles in your back are on and they're a structure. It's like we talked about the structure in crow pose, it's the same thing in a press up. Do this with me now. Flip your ribs up like this. You've got your hands here, feel your muscles in your belly stretch here, and then do a little crunch where you tuck your tailbone under and you can feel your six-pack, rectus abdominis on here. You can make obliques on here as well, and breathe here. This is on, tight. Get in this shape with your shoulder blades spread like this in plank. So we're in plank, and look at my chest pushed up and belly button pulled up. If it looks like this, that isn't it. I've collapsed, my spine is just falling down. Pull up, and I want you to drag your feet towards your hands, twist your hands into the floor, and a slow press up with fingertips pushed down. Going 2 more. 1, last 1, 2. Come on. Now, think about your glutes, your bum muscles here are on tight. Push your heels together and squeeze your glutes on, squeeze your abs on, and understand how this can create a cross-section of power, of strength, of stability, that this doesn't end up collapsed down. So push your heels together, tense your bum, tuck your tailbone under, tense the muscles in your belly, spread your shoulder blades. Let's go again. We're just going to do like a few seconds work, about 8 reps-ish, but however many you've got. And let's see, you twist your hands into the floor, push your chest up, squeeze your bum muscles on, coming down. 2 more. Yes. There we go. It's that style of press up is the one that gets us. Oh, Joe, no way. You can do it. So that style of press up makes our abs part of the deal. It makes our triceps a massive part of the deal. If you do press ups like this, and your elbows are out and your fingers are pointing in like this, it's still a bit of triceps, still a bit of chest, still a bit of shoulder, but I feel like you're in a disadvantaged position. There's not much away from doing a press up like this that helps you in other movements and other skills. We want to try and get those elbows in and make it so you can feel your hands twisting into the floor. Even if we do a plank, it's not my favourite exercise. I feel like articulation of the spine is more important than being able to just hold it in one place. We're going to practice that now. And plank, by the way, if you do a minute's plank, you can do better. I don't mean you do it longer, I mean you do it shorter. You do it for less time, but with more intensity, with more effort, with more irradiation, like you're trying to make these muscles perform. So let's do a plank. So the top half of the press up, and we're just going to hold it. I'm going to give you lots of cues, so really listen in to all of these directions that you're pulling, pushing, pulling and pushing. So, spread your fingers, push your chest away from the floor, push your heels together so your bum muscles tense, and twist your hands into the floor like you're trying to open 2 jars. And then drag your feet towards your hands, and don't let your back collapse down like this. Crunch those abs up and hold it and push your chest higher and tense your bum and hold and push your chest higher and push your fingertips down, tense your bum, ribs up, belly button up, breathe and feel everything working in here. If I do planks in my training, which isn't very often, I'm going to hold it for about 15 seconds and I'm going to burn out. I'm going to be tired. I've got a strong core. It's good for loads of hard stuff harder than a plank, but I want a plank to be a big effort that makes the muscles in my belly perform. And that's what makes this a strong core, because I can make it articulate, so I can move my spine in any direction, and I know how to get there, and it does actually move. Articulation is key. But when I do a plank, I understand it. I can make it a structure, and it includes my glutes. That's the important thing. Bum to abs, this cross section is important. Okay, let's get into a little bit of ab work that involves hip flexor compression. So we're going to think about calisthenics. You need to have hip flexors that perform. So if we do a pistol squat, which we've not trained today, but we will in the future, this hip flexor needs to perform holding this leg up, but this hip flexor also needs to perform to pull your thigh up into your belly so that you can do one-legged squat. Also, if we do a press handstand, which I can't do, not just now anyway, lack of training mostly, is being able to come into a hamstring stretch so much that you can push your chest away, nearly, and lift your legs up. But it comes from being in this folded up position, and your abs and hip flexors can work in a team to pull your thighs up to your belly. Let's have a little practice of that. So sitting down, I want you to bring your hands in front of your bum. Bring your fingertips down, pick your feet up, push your heels together, and go feet up and back down. Feet up and back down, feet up and back down. Keep pushing heels together, keep picking feet up and back down, feet up and back down. And we're getting thighs as close to your belly as you can. Try it like this, hands on your hamstrings, pull your thighs into your belly, stretch hamstrings, stretch hamstrings, stretch hamstrings. And you'll feel like your abs aren't working as hard now because you're holding your legs there. Bring it here and get those abs to perform and have a little rest. And while we have a little rest, actually, what's important, like I keep talking about, articulation of your spine is the thing that gets your spine to work. Even in stability, it needs to have a path. It needs to know which direction to pull, push, and get itself out of whatever shape you're in. So let's try this. Cross your arms over, tense your bum as hard as you can, and do a side bend, side bend, side bend, side bend. Tense your bum hard, like squeeze your bum cheeks together and feel like you're working these muscles here, your obliques. Hold them on tight, squeeze, and work out what your shoulders are doing. And then hold yourself in this scrunched over here. Think about this elbow, pull back, pull forwards, pull back, pull forwards. And get rotation while you're in this side bend. Tense your bum hard. Then go to the other side. Squeeze over. And go elbow back, forwards, back, forwards, back, forwards. Get this feeling that the muscles in your belly and the muscles in your back, they work with each other. Like a bicep and a tricep work together. This contracts to lengthen this. This contracts to lengthen this. And it works both ways. They are part of the same movement. The same all the way around your torso. From here to here. One lengthens, one shortens. One lengthens, one shortens. And it's understanding that can help us in stability as well. So, move yourself into this position again. Hold it as you go down into plank. We're going to go for one more big effort in a plank. Coming down, push your chest away, push your heels together, drag your feet towards your hands and hold. Hold, hold, hold. Keep pushing fingertips down, tense your bum. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Going 5. Keep pushing. 4. Keep dragging those ribs up. 3, 2, 1, and come out. And let's go through articulation again. Hopefully you can feel these muscles here work. It's important that you can connect what's actually working rather than just hanging out in a plank and just looking like this on the floor, where your back bends in this way, your abs aren't doing anything. Cross your arms over your chest, tense your bum, rotate without moving your hips, lean over and rotate without moving your hips. Lean over and rotate without moving your hips. Keep tensing your bum, then do a crunch and extend, crunch and extend, crunch and extend. Tuning into how your spine can move around is way more useful than doing a load of plank or a load of crunches. And doing plank and crunches is useful, but articulation wins for me every time. Is being able to use your joints, your muscles, your skeleton even, and understanding how you can pull yourself into different shapes to keep yourself nice and safe. That's been so fun. One of my favourite classes to teach always. Please keep turning up. It's so hard, it's so tough, but if you keep coming and keep giving it a go, you keep getting better. All right, enjoy your evening. Have some good food, enjoy yourself, and hopefully I'll see you back in the gym soon. All right, bye guys, see ya.